Revealed. How I transformed my life and my brother's future amidst an amazing family challenge. Ethan stared down at his worn-out sneakers, taking in the familiar creak of the floorboards beneath him as he stood at the edge of his bed, rattled by the weight of another early morning. The town of Maplewood was still cloaked in the shadowy embrace of dawn, but he felt the fire of determination flare inside him. Today was different. Today he would fight for his family. Scrambling to get dressed, he wrestled with the burden of responsibility that seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. He was only 24, but somehow felt much older, like he had shared every laugh and tear with life itself. After a quick breakfast, he glanced over at Josh, his 16-year-old brother, who sat with his head buried in his phone. The flickering light illuminated the worry lines etched on Josh's forehead. Their lives had been turned upside down when their parents split, a rift that echoed through the walls of their once-beloved home. Ethan sighed, knowing the smiles from happier days had faded into memories. He poured love into every moment, hoping it would stitch the frayed edges of their relationship back together. As he stepped outside to the crisp air, Ethan's heart sank. Clouds loomed overhead, whispers of impending rain chilling his spine. The family farmed their roots. Their childhood was under threat of being sold. A heaviness settled within him. He couldn't shake the feeling of doom. How could he let that happen? Their mother worked tirelessly, yet it was never enough. He felt like a lion guarding a decaying kingdom. At work, the diner buzzed with morning chatter and the smell of fresh coffee. The camaraderie felt like a warm embrace, yet there was a darkness looming in the depths of his heart. Old family tapestries of anger unfurled as their estranged cousin returned to town. Cannon fire from family squabbles echoed in his mind. He wanted to shield Josh from all this madness, but the pressure mounted, pulling at them like a tornado. Suddenly, a burst of energy ignited hope in the air. A fundraising barbecue was announced. The community would rally together, breathing life into Maplewood. Reckless laughter and spontaneous music filled the empty spaces in Ethan's heart. It felt like a glimmer of salvation, an opportunity to reclaim their legacy. He could almost taste the optimism, the juicy burgers, and the sweet camaraderie of gathered neighbors. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Ethan worked tirelessly, cracking jokes, pouring lemonade, and flipping burgers. The laughter knit them tighter as neighbors shared stories. For a moment, it felt like they could ward off the battles ahead. But just then, under the swirl of laughter, an unexpected cries from a familiar face cut through the air. It was his cousin, revealing that the farm wasn't just at stake. It had always been part of a deeper betrayal he had never anticipated. His chest tightened, each breath feeling like daggers piercing through his resolve. Here he was at the precipice, dreams clashing with loyalty, a tug-of-war of heart and duty. Could he leave behind his aspirations for the sake of his brother? The weight of uncertainty bore down like lead, and Ethan stood, gasping for clarity amidst the chaos. As Josh watched him from the table, the bond that had seemed unbreakable felt shakier than ever. Would they remain united in the face of the coming storm, or would this deepen their divides? Ethan's heart raced, questions burning in the silence, leaving everything hanging by a thread. Ethan's mind spun, trying to process his cousin's shocking revelation. The air was thick with disbelief as the laughter around him faded to a dull hum. He felt as if he were watching the scene unfold from a distance, a mere spectator in a play that refused to follow the script he had envisioned. The warmth of the barbecue slipped away, replaced by a chilling realization that the stakes were higher than he had imagined. Josh, sitting at the table with his friends, picked up on the shift in atmosphere immediately. He glanced over, worry brimming in his eyes. Something was wrong. Ethan wanted to reassure his brother with a wave or a smile, but his heart felt like a stone lodged in his throat. Instead, he stood frozen, grappling with the reality of betrayal among what was supposed to be family. Ethan. His cousin's voice broke through the haze like a crack of thunder. You need to understand that the farm is more than just land. It was always part of a design of family trust, and you were never meant to be at the center of it. What do you mean? Ethan could barely speak the words. His mind raced back to countless summer afternoons spent laughing with Josh, running through the fields, even the late nights under the stars, dreaming of what they could achieve. Did all that mean nothing? Your mother pushed for the sale to get a quick payout. She doesn't want the debt to swallow her whole. I overheard her talking to the bank. His cousin continued, eyes wide with urgency. You gotta talk to her, Ethan. Find out what she really wants. The thought of confronting their mother sent a shiver down Ethan's spine. He had always seen her as their rock, the anchor of their family. Could she really be the one orchestrating their downfall? But there was no escaping the truth, and he knew he had to act. I need a minute, he muttered, excusing himself from the growing crowd. He stumbled out back, seeking refuge among the fading light of the day. The kitchen door creaked, a familiar sound that usually brought him comfort, but now added to his turmoil. He stood there, breathing in the sense of grilled meat mixed with the smell of damp earth, struggling to find resolve. His thoughts turned to Josh. They shared everything, the laughter, the sorrow, even the dreams of saving the farm. It wasn't just land to them. It was home. But now Ethan was poised at the edge of betrayal, and Josh deserved the truth. Ethan? Josh's voice pulled him from his reverie. He stood a few feet away, eyes searching for clarity. What's going on? Ethan's heart sank. How could he explain the web of chaos their lives had become? I need to talk to Mom. I need to understand what's happening, he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. Josh nodded, sensing the gravity of the moment. Let us do it together, he said, the determination in his voice rekindling the flicker of hope within Ethan. This was their fight, and they would face it side by side. As they walked toward the house, each step felt heavier than the last. The looming uncertainty twisted in Ethan's stomach. What would they discover? Would they find answers or shatter what little was left of their family? The kitchen was bright with the glow of summer evening light. Their mother stood there, her back to them, hands busy with a swirling pot on the stove. Mom? Ethan spoke softly, the word tasting bittersweet on his tongue. Can we talk? He felt Josh's steady presence beside him, their connection revitalized by shared purpose as tension built in the air around them. For a moment, silence enveloped them like a thick fog. What would she reveal that could define their future? Little did they know. The truth was about to unfold with unyielding force, breaking everything apart. Ethan's heart raced, brimming with foreboding. Would the revelations bring them closer or drive an irreversible wedge between them? As he watched their mother turn to face them, he realized the moment had arrived, and the answer loomed just out of reach. Their mother turned slowly, her expression guarded but her eyes filled with a storm of emotions. The light from above cast a soft glow on her face, highlighting both the lines of worry etched deep into her skin and the defiance lurking within. Ethan had always admired her strength, but today he needed more. He needed the truth. Ethan, Josh, she said, her voice calm yet laced with tension. What's this about? Ethan glanced at Josh, moments of silent communication flashing between them. We need to know why you're selling the farm, he said, urgency tightening his throat. Is it true? Really? Are you doing this to save yourself? Her brows knit together, a mix of surprise and sorrow washing over her features. I didn't want you to find out this way. I wanted to protect you, she finally replied, words slow like molasses. Protect us from what? Josh interjected, frustration bubbling beneath his surface. This is our home, Mom. What are you trying to shield us from? Debt? She whispered, and the word hung heavy in the air. Your father's illness drained our savings. The farm. She paused, taking a shaky breath. It was always meant to be a way to keep us safe, but now it feels like a financial burden. Ethan clenched his jaw, feeling the weight of her words. They had always believed the farm was their anchor. The laughter, the memories, even the dreams, it all revolved around keeping that land in the family. But selling it? Why didn't you talk to us first? His voice cracked, fueled by betrayal and confusion. It wasn't a decision I made lightly, she said, her eyes shining with unshed tears. Every bank I talked to said foreclosure was imminent if we didn't find the money fast. I thought her voice wavered. I was doing what was best. You thought wrong. Josh shot back, biting his lip to hold back his own emotions. We could have helped. We could have done something together, but what could you've done? She asked, her body trembling with grief. You're just kids. You don't understand what it's like to watch everything crumble around you. In that moment, Ethan saw the depth of her pain. All those years of bravado, a foundation crumbling beneath them, and she had carried it alone. It had become a wall between them, and without it, perhaps they could find a way back to each other. Mom, we're not kids anymore. We can handle the truth, Ethan urged, desperation creeping into his voice. We're family. We face things together, right? The cooktop began to wail, distracting them with its urgent beep. She turned back to it, hurriedly shutting it off before facing them again. You think it's that simple? Her gaze flickered with anger and hurt. You don't know what's going on in the world, the economy. The mistakes I made. You think this farm is the only answer? I didn't want to burden you with my failures. The silence after her outburst resonated, a rift forming in the space where love had once flourished. Josh stepped forward, his voice softer but firm. Mom, if you're in trouble, please let us help you. Selling the farm means losing part of who we are. It means losing our family legacy. Ethan's heart raced as he looked between them. They were on a precipice, and one small push could tip them over into chaos. We can come up with a plan, he said. Insecurity reflected in his eyes. Just don't shut us out. Not now. Their mother's shoulders sagged under the weight of their words. You really want to fight for this? She asked, vulnerability breaking through her steely exterior. Yes, they chorused, a united front anchored by fear and hope. The moment hung there, electric, resonating with potential. Ethan could sense the flicker of possibilities. But the path forward was still shrouded in uncertainty. Would their family spirit remain intact? Or would they tumble further into the chasm of betrayal and resentment? As the kitchen light flickered above them, a new understanding simmered beneath the surface, beckoning them into uncharted territory. Perhaps the fight for the farm was not just a battle over land but a struggle to reclaim their bond. What were they truly willing to sacrifice to keep their family whole, and at what cost? Ethan took a deep breath, summoning the courage to say what had been simmering in his heart and mind. Mom, we need a plan. Not just for the farm but for us. We can't keep dodging the hard stuff. Her gaze fell to the floor, and Ethan could see the burden weighing heavily on her. He wanted to reach out and pull her into a comforting embrace, yet fear held him in place. He could sense Josh twitching beside him, equally torn between action and hesitation. What if we could find ways to cut costs, find work, or even set up a crowdfunding campaign? Josh's voice broke the eerie silence, filled with a hint of desperation. People around here love this farm. They support us, I know it. Their mother finally raised her head, eyes wide with surprise. You both have so much faith in this place, she said softly, a small smile trying to pierce through the storm. But you boys have your own lives to lead. Not without this place, Ethan quickly retorted. You're selling our home, Mom. This is everything we've known. It's not just land to us. It's our identity. The warmth of her smile dimmed. But what if it's not enough? Life has a way of eating you alive if you're not careful. Then let us fight, Josh insisted. Let us live here, work here, and rise together. You're always telling us we're strong. So let us be strong as a family. The hope in his brother's voice seemed to crack a layer of her defenses. Ethan felt a flicker of hope as well. Could they really stand together against the world? Their mother's face softened, tears glistening in the corners of her eyes. You want this? More than anything, Ethan said, squeezing Josh's shoulder softly. We want you to know you don't have to carry this alone anymore. It seemed as if a weight had shifted in the room. The fight they had suggested still lingered, but it suddenly felt lighter, like they could breathe. They could be allies instead of adversaries. Perhaps this was the path, their way of staying on the farm and keeping their family legacy alive. "I'll need time," she replied, nodding slowly as if lost in thought. "Time to think and figure things out." "Take all the time you need," Josh replied. "We'll be right here, ready to tackle whatever comes next." As the sun began to set outside, the kitchen was bathed in golden light. For the first time in what felt like forever, they sat together in silence, their family united in a shared vision of resilience and resolve. But despite the warmth, doubt still tugged at the edges of Ethan's mind. They had come this far, but could they actually pull it off? What would happen when the banks came knocking? The future seemed uncertain, a fragile flame dangling precariously before a strong wind. Just then, an unexpected sound, a faint but distinct knock at the door, broke through their moment of unity. It echoed softly in the quiet kitchen, stark against the backdrop of their conversation. Who could it be at this hour? Ethan exchanged an anxious glance with Josh, both of them instantly alert. "Are you expecting anyone?" he whispered urgently. "No," his mother replied, confusion etched across her features. The knock echoed again, this time louder, impatient almost. Time seemed to stretch as they each took a step toward the door, uncertainty hanging thick in the air. Who was waiting for them on the other side? Would this unexpected visit lead to another complication or perhaps an unexpected opportunity? Ethan held his breath, exchanging another wary glance with Josh. The knock came again, firm and unapologetic. Something stirred in Ethan's gut, a blend of curiosity and dread. "Should I open it?" Josh whispered, his voice barely above a murmur. "Yeah," their mother urged, taking a step back as if she needed to create space for whatever was about to unfold. "Go ahead." With shaky hands, Josh reached for the doorknob, turning it slowly. The door creaked open to reveal a figure standing on the porch, silhouetted against the warm light spilling from inside. "Can I help you?" Ethan called out, stepping forward. The man on the porch straightened, his face revealed by the light. It was Mr. Harrison, their neighbor, a weathered farmer known for his no-nonsense approach and wealth of knowledge about the land. A frown carved deep lines into his forehead. "I heard some talk," he said, his voice gruff but with an undercurrent of concern. "About the farm. Heard you might be selling." Ethan swallowed hard, unsure how to respond. We're figuring things out." Mr. Harrison's eyes narrowed slightly, studying their collective expressions. "You're good kids. Your folks put their heart into this land. You can't just let it slip through your fingers." A mix of gratitude and irritation flared within Ethan. These were his mother's decisions, not theirs, and he felt a sudden urge to defend her. "We're trying to keep it. We just need some time." Mr. Harrison sighed heavily, the sound echoing against the walls of their home. "Time isn't what you need. Action is. My boys and I can lend a hand, yard work, repairs, whatever it takes. The community will step up. We just need a plan." "You really think they'd help?" Josh asked tentatively, eyes wide with hope. "Of course they would," the older man replied. "You'd be surprised how people rally around a family they care about." Ethan's heart raced. The thought of neighbors coming together, backing them, ignited a spark that hadn't existed moments before. "If we start making a plan, they might really support us," he said, turning toward his brother and mother. He could see the flickers of hope in their eyes. Mr. Harrison nodded. "Gather a few friends. If you want, I can get the word out. We can have a meeting this weekend and brainstorm ideas." "Yes," Josh exclaimed, excitement bubbling in his voice. "Let us do it." But their mother's expression went pensive. "What if it doesn't work, Mr. Harrison? What if we fall short?" The worry lined her face again, and Ethan felt the weight of it settle in the room. "Then at least you'll know you tried," Mr. Harrison replied gently. "Trying is worth a lot more than sitting back and letting things unfold." A quiet fell over them as they mulled over his words. The kitchen was filled with the scent of dinner, but at that moment, the heart of the family was on the verge of renewal, a promise of effort, community, a connection stronger than they had known. But deep down, doubt lingered. What if this effort didn't yield the results they wanted? What if they rallied the town but still lost everything? Let us make a plan, Ethan said finally, resolving to stoke that flicker of hope before it could die out. We have to try. As the conversation turned, ideas passed back and forth, and determination began weaving a fabric of courage around them. But even amidst this newfound zeal, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that there was more beneath the surface, more challenges that awaited them. Suddenly, a thought struck him. What about funding? Crowdfunding could be a part of our plan, but how would we even start? The question hung in the air, a reminder that while they were ready to fight, there were battles still ahead. What other surprises awaited them as they stood at the brink of this fight for their future? Ethan felt the air thicken with tension as the reality of their situation settled in. Crowdfunding? It sounded great in theory, but the logistics seemed overwhelming. How do we even get people to look at our page? He wondered aloud, his brow furrowed with uncertainty. Josh's face lit up. We could make a video, show what the farm means to us. His enthusiasm was infectious, and Ethan couldn't help but smile at his brother's eagerness. We can film the fields, the animals, maybe even talk about the stories we've shared here, Ethan suggested. Memories began flooding back. He recalled summer days spent chasing the chickens, building forts out of hay bales, and the laughter that echoed through the barn. Those memories were worth fighting for. Their mother watched them, the hints of a smile tugging at her lips. That's a great start, she said softly. But we'll need a way to reach people beyond just our backyard. Social media. Josh burst out again, clearly on a roll. We can share the video online, and if people see how much this place means to us, they might want to help. Ethan nodded, excitement bubbling. Maybe we can get a local news station interested too. They love community stories. They can help spread the word. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat, bringing their focus back to him. Just make sure you present it well. Emphasize the community ties, and be real about your struggles. People connect with honesty. His words rang true. The approach would need authenticity. Ethan felt a renewed sense of purpose. Everything felt possible, and the fear that had clouded his mind began to dissipate. Let us start with the video tonight, Ethan said, brimming with determination. We'll make a list of everything we want to include. Then we can sketch out a plan for who to reach out to. Their mother's eyes softened as she watched her boys lean into this challenge. I'll help with the editing. Maybe we can even ask some family friends to come lend their voices to the project. Like support testimonials or something? Josh asked, his eyes wide with excitement. That's a great idea. As ideas bounced within the kitchen, the atmosphere shifted. The air felt lighter, fresh with the scent of hope and camaraderie. Laughter erupted as they began tossing around laughing imitations of their video pitch, the pressure slightly lifting with each shared grin. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an amber glow across the room, Ethan felt the weight return. It was a fragile hope, one that almost felt too good to be true. While the flickers of determination and excitement filled the room, shadows of doubt lingered in the periphery. What if we don't get enough support? Ethan murmured, the question slipping out before he could contain it. What if our story isn't enough? That's okay, Ethan, Josh said, his voice steady. We're doing this together. That's what really matters. Their mother smiled softly, but Ethan saw the worry etched on her face. He thought about their family's legacy, the generations that had tilled this land, the countless hands that had nurtured it. Would they really be able to keep it? Would the town rally like Mr. Harrison believed? Just then, a loud crash came from outside, pulling their attention away. The three of them rushed to the window, peering out into the twilight. The scene revealed their neighbor's barn door swinging open. A wild goat had escaped into the yard, causing chaos. Looks like the farm isn't just going to give in without a fight. Mr. Harrison chuckled, motioning the boys toward the door. Come on. Let us catch that goat, it's a start. Laughing, Ethan and Josh raced outside, their spirits lifting with each step. Maybe catching that goat was exactly what they needed, an early lesson in resilience. But as they tackled the challenges in front of them, Ethan couldn't shake the anticipation gnawing at him. What other obstacles lay ahead on this winding path toward hope? With every dash into the unsettled night, he began to wonder if the goats were just a warm-up for the wild ride waiting for them. Would they be ready for what came next? Would they manage to rally their community? And most importantly, would they hold onto the land that meant everything to them? The backyard was alive with the sound of clattering hooves and excited laughter. Ethan's heart raced as he and Josh darted after the runaway goat. The stubborn creature zigzagged across the grassy field, bleating with a mix of defiance and sheer enjoyment. Each time Ethan thought they had it cornered, it would leap away, a mischievous glint in its eye. "Simon, buddy," Josh called, his voice ringing with determination. "We're just trying to help you." Ethan couldn't help but chuckle at his brother's earnestness. They were all in this together, just like the goat. Their fate was tied to the unpredictable pulse of the farm. With a sudden burst of energy, the goat turned and made a beeline towards the fallen hay bales, vaulting over them with surprising agility. "Let us cut it off that way," Ethan shouted, pointing to the left. His heart thudded in his chest, an exhilarating mix of competition and purpose. The thrill of the chase was a welcome distraction from the weight of their earlier conversation. Minutes passed like hours, but finally, Josh zeroed in, creating a blockade between the goat and freedom. "Now!" Ethan shouted, rushing forward alongside his brother. It was a moment of teamwork like none other. They lunged together, arms outstretched. With a final leap, the goat collided with Josh, who went tumbling into a pile of hay. Ethan burst into laughter as he helped his brother up, the goat now safely corralled between them. The triumphant adrenaline surged through him. "We did it." The evening air felt charged, filled with a heady mixture of sweat and laughter. As they led the goat back to the barn, Ethan felt lighter. For just a moment, the shadows that had loomed over him vanished, replaced by a sense of shared victory. Who knew herding goats could be so exhilarating? Josh said, still brimming with excitement. Their mother joined them at the barn entrance, smiling widely. "You boys saved the day." With the goat finally secured, the trio sat under the soft glow of the barn's light, taking a moment to catch their breath. "This is the spirit we need," their mother encouraged, her voice steady and warm. "If we can work together like this, I truly believe we can make this crowdfunding thing happen." Josh leaned in closer. "What do you think we should include in our video?" "I was thinking we should highlight our adventures, moments like this. People love a good story." Ethan nodded, fueled by an idea. "Definitely. Let us capture the heart of the farm, the chaos, the joy, even the struggles. It's real and relatable. That's how we'll connect with them." The plan sparked energy in the air again. They brainstormed ideas aggressively, laughing at the memories while also highlighting the serious challenges they faced. They spoke of the late nights, the early mornings, and the all-too-frequent repairs around the farm. As they laid out their thoughts, Ethan felt a flicker of hope, a belief that this dream could materialize. But inside, beneath the current of excitement, doubts still rippled like a quiet stream. Would their voices be enough to reach people? Could this plan truly bring their community together? "Mom, what do you think?" Ethan asked quietly, sensing the weight of her presence. Her smile faded slightly, and Ethan could tell she was weighing her words carefully. "Sweetheart, I think you have a beautiful idea," she finally said, her eyes intense. "But you must prepare yourselves for the worst too. Not everyone will be as supportive as your friends or neighbors." A chill ran down Ethan's spine. For a moment, the glow of possibility dimmed. What if they couldn't rally the support they desperately needed? "Okay," Ethan murmured, trying to shake off the growing tension. "But we'll never know unless we try, right?" "Right," Josh chimed in, determination audible in his voice. As they returned to their brainstorming, Ethan felt a newfound urgency. The story they shared had to be genuine, raw, and compelling. As their laughter faded into the night, one question hung heavy between them. Would their story resonate with others as much as it resonated within their hearts? Their journey was just beginning, but they were armed with memories to share and a fight worth waging. As Ethan stared into the darkening sky, he wondered just how far they were willing to go for this dream. What challenges awaited them? And would they have what it takes to face each of them head-on? Ethan tossed and turned in bed, the weight of his thoughts pressing down on him like a heavy blanket. The moonlight streamed through the window, casting silver shadows on the walls. It was peaceful outside, but inside, his mind raced with plans and uncertainties. This crowdfunding idea loomed over him like a distant storm cloud. Could they really pull it off? He finally sat up, running a hand through his hair. Josh's excited chatter from earlier echoed in his mind. He could see the spark in his brother's eyes, the thrill of the adventure bubbling just beneath the surface. Yet, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something essential was at stake, something deeper than mere money. "Hey, you okay?" Josh's voice broke through the tension, breaking just loud enough to be heard. Ethan turned to see his brother leaning against the doorframe, his silhouette outlined by the moonlight. "Yeah, just couldn't sleep," he admitted. Josh padded over and flopped down on the edge of Ethan's bed, concern etched on his boyish face. "Thinking about the video?" "Yeah." Ethan sighed. "What if we're not ready? What if we fail?" "Ethan, we just herded a goat." Josh grinned, trying to lighten the moment. "We can do anything if we work together. Besides, if we fail, we'll have great stories to tell afterward." Ethan smiled at that. "Yeah, if we fail," he muttered, trying to bury the fear that lingered beneath the surface. The truth was, their family needed this. The farm was struggling the harsh winters and unpredictable weather. They weren't just fighting for a dream. They were fighting to keep their home alive. "Don't forget about Mom," Josh said quietly, sensing his brother's worries. "She's counting on us. We can't let her down." Just then, their mother's light footsteps echoed down the hallway. She pushed the door open, her presence filling the room with warmth. "You boys okay?" she asked, her voice a gentle melody in the night. "Can't sleep," Ethan said, feeling a swell of emotion for her. "Thinking about the farm. And you." She smiled, though Ethan could see the fatigue beneath it. "I know this is hard, but I have faith in both of you. This isn't just about the money. It's about our community and the legacy we want to leave behind." "What if they don't understand us?" Ethan asked, desperation creeping into his voice. "What if we fail to reach them?" His mother knelt down, reaching for his hand. "The most important stories are the ones that come from the heart. Don't worry about the outcome. Just focus on sharing what this farm means to you." Ethan absorbed her words like sunshine breaking through clouds. Perhaps it didn't matter how many people they reached, but rather that they spoke their truth. "We will," he whispered, feeling a flicker of hope reignite. "Remember, every great adventure has its risks," she said, standing up. "But together, there's nothing you can't face." After she left, Ethan glanced at Josh. Their eyes locked, both brothers suddenly feeling empowered. "All right," Ethan said, determination settling in his chest. "Let us plan our first scene in the video. The goat chase could open it off nicely." Josh shot up, energized. "Yeah. And let us include our favorite spots around the farm, and we should definitely showcase." They began tossing ideas back and forth, sketches of raw moments that revealed their struggles, joys, and the love that tied them to the land. Laughter seeped back into the room, filling the quiet space with life. But as the night deepened and their voices began to tire, a new worry flickered in Ethan's mind. What if, in sharing their story, they opened up old wounds? Would reliving the struggles be more painful than uplifting? Still burning with ambition, he took a deep breath. "Let us do this, Josh. No holding back." As they plotted out not only their dreams but the reflective truth of their reality, Ethan couldn't shake off the chill of uncertainty. Soon, their journey would blossom for the world to see, and he wondered if they'd be prepared for whatever came next. The moment of vulnerability was creeping closer, and Ethan couldn't ignore the shadows of doubt lurking in the corners of his heart. What if sharing their story exposed more than they were ready to confront? And would it lead to strength, or unravel them entirely? Morning light spilled into the room, warming Ethan's face like a gentle hug. He rolled out of bed, his heart racing with the anticipation of the day ahead. Today was the day they would start filming their video. The idea had sparked a mix of excitement and dread, a roller coaster of emotions that left him breathless. As he moved through the house, the smell of coffee wafted from the kitchen. Josh was already up, fiddling with the camera equipment laid out on the table. "You ready for this?" he asked, glancing up with a grin that brightened the room. Ethan dropped into a chair, rubbing his eyes. "Not entirely sure. What if I mess up? What if I freeze up on camera?" Josh shook his head. "You'll be fine. Just remember what Mom said. Speak from the heart. This is our story, and it's powerful." A knot of apprehension tightened in Ethan's stomach as he looked at the camera, its dark lens seeming to stare right back at him. He took in a deep breath. This was more than just a video. It was about their home and their family's struggle. It felt like they were opening the lid on a box they'd tried to keep shut for too long. "Let us start with the goat chase," Josh exclaimed, clapping his hands together. "It's fun and will show everyone how crazy things can get here." "Right," Ethan replied, trying to summon enthusiasm. "But let us not forget why we're doing this." He gestured to the kitchen window, where the farm stretched out, the fields glimmering in the morning sun. They headed outside, the cool breeze brushing against their skin. Felt good, refreshing. But as they moved closer to their favorite spot by the barn, Ethan's mind wandered. He could almost hear the echoing laughter from past summers, the moments of joy that now felt tainted by looming uncertainty. "Get ready," Josh shouted, sprinting ahead toward a patch of grass, as a few goats meandered close, nibbling on whatever caught their attention. Ethan fell into step, the laughter bubbling up at the sight. They began shooting the introductory scene, the camera capturing the playful chaos as Josh darted after a particularly mischievous goat. "This goat is fast," Josh exclaimed, fumes of laughter punctuating his words. Ethan laughed, but something in him tightened. As they filmed, the emotions imprinted into every frame began to surface. Would people laugh with them or at them? Would they resonate with their struggles? The teamwork, the fun, the laughter, was that enough to mask the deeper troubles? "All right, let us stop for a second," Ethan called. "We need to talk about what we're really doing here." Josh paused, his playful demeanor faltering. "You mean the serious stuff?" "Yeah. I think we need to express why this farm matters. Why keeping it alive is everything to us." There was a lump in Ethan's throat, a mix of passion and fear. "We have to lay it all out there." "Okay," Josh said slowly, confusion knitting his brows. "But what if it gets too heavy? What if we lose everyone's interest?" Ethan shook his head. "If we don't show the truth, we're not being real. We can't act like everything's perfect, especially when it's not." They stood in silence for what felt like an eternity, the weight of Ethan's words hanging between them. Finally, Josh nodded, a resolve creeping into his eyes. "You're right. Let us do this honestly. For Mom. For the farm." With newfound determination, they agreed to film a segment capturing the essence of what they had been holding back: the struggles, the hopes, and the dreams for their family's future. Ethan felt a flicker of courage ignite within him. Maybe confronting the painful truths would lead to something beautiful. As they reset the camera, Ethan glanced at his brother, and an unspoken bond reaffirmed itself. This was their moment, a chance to share the raw and unfiltered reality of their lives. But as they prepared to delve deeper, Ethan's mind flashed to the critics, the ones who might not understand. What if sharing their struggles pushed them further from their dreams? "Are you ready for this?" Josh asked, a hint of nervousness in his tone. Ethan's heart raced. "Ready or not, we're doing it." His throat tightened again. There was no turning back now. They would embrace whatever came next, together. Just then, a sudden noise echoed from the barn, an unexpected sound that broke through the moment. Ethan glanced at Josh, their eyes wide in surprise. What could it be? As they approached the barn, the weight of anticipation settled over them. They were about to uncover something that might change everything. Inside the barn, the air felt electric. Ethan's breath hitched as he pushed the door wide open. Sunlight poured through the cracks, illuminating the familiar landscape now draped in uncertainty. Together, they stepped in, and what they saw stopped them in their tracks. Their mother stood there, talking quietly with Mr. Harrison. The tension was palpable, each heartbeat echoing in Ethan's ears as he approached what felt like the epicenter of their family drama. "Hey, what is going on?" Ethan asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Their mother turned, caught between relief and anxiety. "We were just discussing some plans," she said, her tone hinting at something deeper. "Plans?" Josh echoed, a mixture of worry and curiosity flaring in his eyes. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. "I just gave your mother some ideas about reaching out to the community more directly. The reality is you will need support, and they really value this farm. It's a part of all of your lives." Ethan felt a lump form in his throat as pieces began to click. "Is this about the video?" he asked carefully. "It's more than that," their mother replied, glancing towards the corn husks swaying softly in the wind. "I had to face what we're really up against. It's not just debt. It's our heart, the farm. I want to fight for it. I'm tired of feeling defeated." "Then let's do it," Josh chimed in, a fire igniting in his voice. "Let us rally everyone. We can share our story now." And just like that, the flicker of resolve turned into a blaze of determination. They were all in this together, no holding back. Their mother smiled, warmth returning to her eyes. "You boys were right about honesty. This is our legacy. It deserves to be fought for." Ethan's heart soared, a new wave of hope washing over him. "Can we start with the video we planned? We have to include our honest truth, the struggles and triumphs." She nodded, and the small spark of fear that had been lingering in Ethan's chest began to fade. The farm was their home, prismatic memories shimmering with each conversation, laughter, and recently, tears. "And while you film, I can reach out to those who have been here before, friends, neighbors, the community," Mr. Harrison added, his eyes shining with conviction. "This is a family affair after all." "Exactly. We'll set a date and invite everyone," Josh exclaimed, growing ever more enthusiastic. "Let us show them why this place matters." In that moment, the weight that had lingered in the air began to lift. Hope blossomed brighter than ever, unlike any other feeling. They crafted a plan of attack. Their mother bounced ideas back and forth, every suggestion met with acceptance and excitement. Before long, laughter filled the barn, echoing the vibrant energy they had once lost. Hours melted away as they prepared for the video, recording snippets of their life around the farm. They chased after goats, pulled together the harvest scenes, and told tales of childhood memories beneath golden beams of sunlight. It wasn't just about the farm. It was about family, love, and community. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky orange and pink, Ethan set the camera on the barn and stood in front of it with Josh, their mother watching proudly behind. "Hi, we're the Grays," Ethan began, his voice steady. "This is our family farm." With each word they spoke, they wove a tapestry of their lives. They spoke of laughter, of challenges, of the very foundation of who they were. They shared their dreams and fears, and as they spoke their truth, Ethan felt the walls he had built inside him begin to crumble. "Not only are we fighting to save our home," Josh joined in, his passion radiating through the lens. "We're inviting you to join us in our fight. Together we can keep this legacy alive." Their mother stepped in, her voice filled with emotion. "This farm represents more than just land to us. It's a part of who we are as a family. And if you can help us, we promise to honor that support with every ounce of our strength." As they finished the recording, Ethan felt lighter. They had opened up their hearts, and somehow he knew it would resonate. And with their video finished, they delivered it, sharing it widely. The nights turned to days as they worked tirelessly, enlisting friends, neighbors, and strangers for their cause. They knocked on doors with hopeful hearts, gathered support, and before long, the community stood behind them ready to fight. Ethan could see change blossoming from every corner. Donations trickled in, spirits surged, and the farm began to feel alive again. It was truly amazing. Renewed laughter echoed across the fields, and the very sun felt warmer on their backs. Together, they faced challenges. the community rallied, lifting their spirits and brightening their days. The bond that once felt fragile became an unbreakable chain, filled with hope, love, and resilience. Then one evening, as the sun set on the horizon, Ethan caught a glimpse of their mother gazing across the fields, a radiant smile illuminating her face. He stepped beside her, a calm settling in the air. "We did it," he said softly, a smile creeping onto his face. "Yes, we did," she replied, warmth flooding through her words. "And it's just the beginning." In that moment, everything fell into place. They had become stronger as a family and community, forging a path filled with courage and togetherness. It wasn't merely about saving a farm. It was about reclaiming their happiness and their future. "We're ready for whatever comes next," Josh chimed in, echoing their mother-esque resolve. Ethan nodded, a full heart swelling with gratitude for the journey they'd undertaken. Together, he said, "We can face it all." As they stood there, united in purpose and spirit, they knew they had secured not just the land but the very essence of who they were, a family bound by love, laughter, and an unbreakable bond. Now, this is the moment for you. You need to subscribe now to the channel so you don't miss these exclusive stories. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm and show your appreciation for this incredible journey. Comment below about your feelings, your thoughts, and what moved you most about the ending. And please, share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait for another second to show your support. Real fans understand the power of community. Let's build this together.